I was folding my grandson's school uniform when they told me it was time for me to go. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right then. The house was loud with children I had raised, yet suddenly I felt invisible. I remember standing there, holding tiny socks, wondering how love could expire so quickly. For years, I had given them my mornings, my nights, my body, my patience. I had become the background of their lives. And now, I was being erased. That moment didn't just end my stay in their house. It ended the story I believed about family. I raised their children for free, without counting hours or sacrifices. I thought that meant something. I thought it meant loyalty. But as they avoided my eyes, I realized something terrifying. Usefulness is often mistaken for love. And once you stop being useful, you become replaceable. That was the day I understood I had never been family. I had been help. And help, apparently, can be dismissed. They smiled politely, already planning life without me, while the children kept calling my name, unaware that goodbye was being decided over my silence and their comfort. I stood frozen, listening. Heart racing fast. Inside, when my son asked me to help with childcare, he said it would only be temporary. Just until they got stable. Just until things improved. I agreed without hesitation. I sold my small apartment and moved in, believing family meant permanence. Every morning, I packed lunches, tied shoelaces, wiped tears, and kissed scraped knees. I became the routine that held their household together. They worked late. They traveled. They rested. I stayed. I told myself I was lucky to be needed. I told myself exhaustion was love. Years passed quietly. The children grew taller. My hair grew gray. My back ached, but my heart stayed full. I missed having my own space, my own life, yet I convinced myself sacrifice was noble. I didn't realize that free help slowly becomes expected service. I didn't notice gratitude fading into entitlement. I was too busy being useful to see myself disappearing. It happened so gradually that I blamed myself for feeling tired, unimportant, and small, thinking good grandmothers were supposed to disappear behind everyone else's happiness. And I believed that lie. For far too long. Until everything collapsed. Suddenly, the change didn't come with shouting. It came with whispers and closed doors. They began making plans without including me. I overheard conversations about space, privacy, and moving on. One evening, after putting the kids to bed, my daughter-in-law sat across from me, smiling tightly. She said the children were older now. She said they needed their space back. Then my son added softly, "You can manage on your own again." My chest tightened. I had nowhere to go. No savings. No home. Days later, boxes appeared in the hallway. Not theirs. Mine. The kids cried, confused, clinging to my legs. I packed quietly while pretending everything was fine. At night, I listened to laughter from the living room, knowing I was already gone in their minds. What hurt most wasn't being asked to leave. It was how easily they erased my years of unpaid devotion, as if love had an expiration date. I felt ashamed for trusting promises, ashamed for loving without protection, and terrified of starting over at an age when endings feel heavier than beginnings. My silence screamed everything. They never heard it. Or chose not to. Enough, leaving that house felt like tearing myself in half. But once the door closed behind me, something unexpected happened. I breathed. I found a small room to rent. I learned how to rest. I stopped giving without receiving respect. Weeks later, they called. The kids missed me. Life was harder without free help. I listened calmly. I didn't rush back. I explained that love isn't proven by endurance alone. That boundaries matter. That caregivers are human, not disposable. There was guilt in their silence. But also understanding. I still see my grandchildren. On my terms. I help when asked, not demanded. I reclaimed my dignity. Raising their children taught me patience. Being discarded taught me self-worth. And walking away taught me this final truth. Love that costs your identity is not love. It is labor. And I will never give it away for free again. I am older now, but I am no longer invisible, because I finally learned to value my time, my care, and my presence as something precious. This ending hurt, yet it saved me. And I chose myself at last. That choice changed everything forever. No apologies required. Only peace remained. For the first time ever.